I do music composition a lot, and I do post-production sound. But I had an idea for a film, and sometimes when you have an idea, it's time just to make it. I had the resources to make it. I had, DP who wanted to shoot it. I had, VFX people who wanted to work on it. So I just made my idea happen. Well, my first film that I made was very complicated, and so I was impressed with the people who wanted to work on it and wanted to help me bring this complicated idea to life. So it was great to see how dedicated everybody was to helping me, because it was essentially my idea, but I made sure to have somebody who was a writer write it, somebody who knew how to shoot it. I wasn't going to try to do something I wasn't familiar with doing. So even though I directed and scored it, everybody else was dedicated to their part. So it was really fun. Element was essentially an idea based upon Transformers, but it's the idea of how robots turning into cars should always be awesome. And so in my frustration of those films, I wanted to make my own version of it, so that even though we never mentioned Transformers, they never mentioned the word transform, it's that's the basic idea. So I kind of came up with this cool action scenario based around this one portion of freeway, and I made a reason why the car had to turn from a robot back into a car, and it's that basic thing. And so it kind of came from that, and it just came from a desire to want to see on screen what I would want to see on screen. That's basic. It's very basic, Jamie Lee Curtis is always fantastic, but I'm more a fan of the really terrible Basket Case, and I couldn't even tell you who was in that, but those are the So I don't actually have a favorite scream queen, even though I'm pretty diverse in my in what I've seen for 80s horror movies. What was it? Was Sleepaway Camp? That was also a good one. Well, I can't say the girl in that because she was technically a guy in that movie. So that was a great role. I like the kind of the obscure, really kind of gritty, possibly shitty, 80s horror movies. Those are my favorite. So I don't really have a scream queen. I guess that is my favorite. One of them, okay, I want to start off with a random one, which is called The Invitation. And it's on Netflix. And it's this really obscure one that no one's ever heard of, but it's about a party, and that's all I can say. It starts with a party and turns into something way creepier, and it's slowly, and you think you know where it's going, and then it goes a completely different direction. It's fantastic. The Thing, of course, just for the special effects. I just love the special effects; are so phenomenal, so practical. Then there is The Mist with Thomas Jane, and that was in 2008 or something like that, and it has the most horrifying ending. And I'm not even talking the most psychologically horrible ending you could ever think of. If you've watched it, you know what I'm talking about. Then what I mentioned, which is my favorite quote, is Lost Boys, because that one, it's just always been a childhood favorite. And then speaking of childhood favorites, the final one I have to say, and the top one, is Monster Squad. It's actually filmed down the street from where I live in Los Angeles, which is kind of cool. But it is just always been a childhood favorite. Then I watched it again, and it still holds up. So I love Monster Squad. I know this is maybe a little mainstream, but Cate Blanchett in Thor Ragnarok. She is an evil. She's death, and it was phenomenal to see an amazing actor like that take on a really dark, creepy role, and that's what I really liked. So even though it's not a horror movie, even though it's very mainstream, Cate Blanchett as Death is all I want to see in an evil character. I want to say Peter Jackson, and I want to say that because he's not, Meet the Feebles was a crazy, creepy movie, but it wasn't a horror movie.
but I know through Lord of the Rings and what he has, it's like he has these grand concepts, but I want to see him. I would want to work with him on like a small scale, basic, low budget horror movie. I think he would excel, and I think I would love to work with somebody like that. I want to focus more on the music aspect of it because I'm not, even though I directed this film, I don't want to be a director. But I still love music composition and I do a lot of that. So I've done one feature already that went in theaters. So I'd like to do more features. So I'd like to be scoring more features. And I actually have a thriller that I'm going to be scoring this fall, that they're shooting this fall. So hopefully next year I'll have another feature under my belt that's more the thriller, not horror, but thriller. So that's what I hope for. All I like is for people to say that was cool. That's all I want. I want it to be entertaining and I'm not. It doesn't have to. Every movie needs a great story, but I don't need to tell an expansive story. I just want things to be cool. I want action scenes to be cool, and I want concepts to be cool. That's all I want. Everything is at Barry J. Neely, BaryJ Neely. So that's Facebook, that's Instagram, and that's Twitter. And I'm always and my website is BaryJNeely.com. You know what the end of Lost Boys? When everybody says death by stereo, but I always love at the end when the grandfather says, what I hate about this place? All those damn vampires. Love that line. The final line of the movie. It's fantastic. That's my favorite line. My name is Barry J. Neely. I'm a director and film composer here at Shriekfest with my movie Element, and this is AcutiePie.com.